Hi guys, welcome back. We are actually back in Deansgrange cemetery. Just felt like we had to come back. There's so much here that we haven't seen, haven't found, and I'm going to start in a completely different place and see where it leads us to. So with that being said, let's explore Deansgrange cemetery. So the first one that has actually caught my eye is just here. Now this would have been a gorgeous memorial in memory of Eileen Caroline, only and dearly loved daughter of William and Miriam Caswell, 1896, aged 121 years. The darkness came, our darling passed away, and we are left to mourn. There's the age. Now, I'm just going to fix this pot. And as you can see, the cross has come away, unfortunately, from the base. At a great age in 1896. Amazing. In loving memory of all who lived at Sunbeam House. Margaret Reed, 1915, age 5. Jane Lowe, 1917, age 75. Margaret Carl, age 25, 1917. Isabella Morris, 1922, age 20. Florence Langton, 1922, age 19. Mary Steep, 1927, age 35. Harriet Johnston, 1942, age 35. Martha Palmer, 1954, aged 50. Martha Ann Gubler, 1967, aged 59. Mary Wilton, 1991, aged 50. David Freeman, 1993, aged 42. And we are literally only starting. And I've all of these. Look at this one with the anchor. Wow. Loving memory of Sarah, beloved wife of Percival Horner, died 1904, aged 31, and Agnes Ali Horner, sister of above, aged 45 in 1919. Percival is there as well. Loving husband of above, 1919, age 50. There's Sarah Ann as well, their beloved mother. She was 89 when she passed in 1935. Peace, perfect peace. Isn't that just stunning? The detail there. Amazing. Now behind that one is another interesting one. Has a boat and an anchor. Richard Williams, son of Henry Williams, 1896, age 35. Also Margaret, widow of Henry, 1903. George is there as well, 1940. Look at that. So on the reverse of this memorial, there is actually another inscription, and it reads, in memory of Henry and Alexander Williams, ex-coxswain and coxswain of the Kingstown lifeboat, who lost their lives together at their post in the disaster on Christmas Eve 1895. They nobly did their duty. So Kingstown is now known as Dunleary. So the Kingstown lifeboat was launched on Christmas Eve, December 1895, during an attempt to rescue those on board the SS Palm in Dublin Bay. The Palm, a Finnish ship sailing under the Russian flag, was en route from Birkenhead, Liverpool to South America to collect a cargo of hardwood. On board the Palm was a crew of 17 and the captain and his wife and child. The ship was seeking shelter in Dublin Bay during a severe storm. The first Kingstown lifeboat, the Civil Service number 1, capsized with the subsequent loss of all. The second Kingstown lifeboat also capsized, but all on it survived. The Poolbeg lifeboat also attempted a rescue, but had to turn back. 2 tugs from Dublin port also made an unsuccessful attempt at a rescue, and eventually on the 26th of December, an Irish light steamer got alongside the Palm and rescued all 20 on board. And here on this plaque it says, near the spot during the storm of Christmas Eve, the crew of one of the Kingstown lifeboats embarked on their last mission of mercy in an attempt to reach a wreck. The boat was capsized and all her gallant crew were drowned. And then their names are there. So I'm going to try and make my way back out on the path. It's not easy going around these graves and avoiding the grave itself, so we're walking along the curbing as much as possible. Loving memory of Mary Edith Coleman, who died at Blackrock, September the 23rd, 1906. For her devoted care of the wounded soldiers, both French and German, in the Franco-Prussian War in the year 1870 under the auspices of the Red Cross Society. She was as Mrs. Alsager, decorated by the Emperor William with the Order of the Iron Cross. Wow. See guys, you just don't know who you will find. By grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. On the other side, I was sick and ye visited me. I was in prison and ye came unto me. Wow. Thank you, Mary Edith, for all that you did. Your devotion and care of those wounded soldiers, French and German. Amazing. We have a wind chime here. Look at this. In loving memory of Lillian, who died from typhoid. You can see it there, typhoid, December 18th, 1892, aged. Now to me it looks like 15, daughter of Alice Halmer and the late something. I don't really want to remove all the ivy because I don't want to damage it. Lillian, we remember you. So Lillian died of typhoid at age just 15 and 18. And I'm presuming it's 1892. Beautiful, and those wind chimes, whoever left them there, such a touching gift. So the wind is here today, but it was kind of raining on our way up, just a little. But I just had to come back here. I just had to. And you know me, I wouldn't be happy until I did it. Irish Eyes is somewhere else in here, and he's going to do his own vlog, because I think it's important that if the two of us split up, we might get more done, because it's just so big. But you can see a few of the newer headstones here amongst the older. And actually just ahead we have a new burial, and I can smell the beautiful flowers. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, so I've stopped here. We have beautiful rails, an obelisk. It says, sacred to the memory of Alexander John Ethan, late collector of the Inland Revenue, Dublin, who died 12th of April 1907, aged 61, until the day braked. Erected by his colleagues as a token of respect, some of the wording and the letters are gone. In private life was a sincere friend whose inspiration in all his actions was honesty of purpose, and whose official career was animated by a desire to do his duty and to promote the welfare of the members of the service to which he belonged. Isn't that gorgeous? A nice memorial there for Alexander. Maria Fiddler, who departed this life 1906, aged 41, deeply regretted by her loving husband and children. Right, this one is starting to sink. Now look at that. I'm going to try and go around and up. Brother Herbert James Thompson, 1882, aged 26, erected by the Brethren of LOL 566 and 1815 as a token of their fraternal affection. Now this is work that they're doing here in clearing these little wooded areas. And once again the crunching under my feet of the dead leaves and brambles. So let's just take a little wander in here. Lots of ivy on the ground. Just beautiful, isn't it? Now, if I am to be buried, please bury me somewhere like this. This is stunning. Just being careful where I walk. You can see they've cut some of the branches of the trees. Robert Adamson, Loving memory of his dear wife Rebecca, who fell asleep in Jesus at her residence in Avondale, 1897. Right, I'm going to try get back out. The widow of Frederick Folliot, 1894, age 60. Millicent, I think her name was. Frederick is here as well, 1891, age 70. I've just spotted a squirrel. Very rare to see squirrels, but I suppose the little wooded areas are a great home for them. Another beautiful one. Across with the flowers. This is in loving memory by her sister to Anna Georgina Young, who died at Kingstown, 1883, in her 61st year. A lot of damage there. All starting to sink down. But I suppose that's the natural process. I've seen a few here that seems to be happening too. Right, so we're back out on the path again. Look at that tree. How old is it? Hundreds of years old. Wow, that is amazing. And you can just get an idea on how large Deansgrange is. It is huge. It just goes on and on. But I'm going to try and get back in under a little bit of the forest area and see what we can find inside there. Excuse me. My hay fever is playing up, but that is part and the parcel of the fine weather coming in and the pollen. This is beautiful as well. And they have ivy around it. James M. Toner, 1924. Beautiful. This one has caught my eye. That is gorgeous. Loving memory of Mary Ann Moore, 1939, age 50, and her dear son, James. He was 31 when he passed in 1942, and her mother, and her husband, James Moore, 1951, age 76, it looks like, or 75. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, look at this. Cherished memories of Patrick Paddy Delaney, 1989, age 61, and his loving wife, and our wonderful mum, Sheila, aged 83, 2013, together again. And you can see stunning photos. That is amazing. Together again. Graham, in loving memory of Mary Ann, 1929, aunt. Edward, 1942, grandfather. John, 1944, uncle. Mary Nee Riley, grandmother, 1948, rest in peace. Isn't that lovely? What a beautiful memorial. Remembered by your deceased sons, Willie and Christie's children, Mag, Ned, Rita, and all your grandchildren. And they are certainly remembered with that fantastic memorial and their photo. There's a little small one here, Kathleen Doyle, 1924, and her son Edward, 1912. Right, so let's make our way in here. Liam Breen. Just a simple wooden cross. C. Connolly, Royal Munster Fusiliers, 1919, age 36. Also his son Patrick died January 1918, and his dear wife Elizabeth, 1965. Thomas Coogan, it looks like, 1892, age 45. I think that's what that says there. And we have this here, just a circle of stones. So obviously someone buried there. No marker, nothing to read, but they are certainly remembered. This one has rosary beads draped across it. Pray for the soul of Edward York, it looks like. C. Beresford, Royal Dublin Fusiliers, aged 21, 1919. So young. Just rails on this one, no marker. This is Thomas St. George McCarthy, GAA founder, 1884, died March 12, 1943, aged 81. So very interesting. GAA founder in 1844. Now, where to go? I actually have a beautiful obelisk memorial down here. This is Walter Kelly, died 30th of January 1949, his loving wife Mary. I kind of actually really like the way the ivy takes over. We have a few simple crosses here. and kind of a pathway going through. I don't see anything really wrote on this, so maybe it's this side. He has holly, loads of holly growing around him. Memory of Thomas FMA, it looks like, who departed this life the 21st of June 1883, aged 40, erected by his beloved wife. What a fantastic place to be laid to rest under these gorgeous, gorgeous trees. We've the holly, as I've said, the ivy. Amazing. So I'm just wondering how many people would be buried just in this area alone. I can see some mounds, some with simple crosses. We've brackens, dolans and martins here. Some beautiful flowers. So that's lovely to see that, even under all this little forestry area, there's people visiting. So this is drummer J. Cash, Royal Dublin Fusiliers, aged 22 when he passed 1918. And beside him we have J. Cash, sapper, Royal Engineers, 1919, aged 33. Right, let's try and make our way back out. Surgeon Harry Mead, 1952. Nora Mead, Sissy, 1961. Josephine, 1970. Brigadier Lionel Humphreys, 1971. Avis Humphreys, 1979, and Karen Mead, 2014. This place is gorgeous. Three Hail Marys, please, for the repose of the soul of Kevin Anthony O'Dwyer, Burlington Road, 1950, aged 23. Nicholas and Essie O'Dwyer, 1957 and 1958, aged 60 and 62. John Gerard O'Dwyer Dalkey, aged 6, in 1966, and his sister, Fiona Mary O'Dwyer, January 1981, aged just 20. And we've Sean Dalkey O'Dwyer, June 2000, and we've Mikey O'Dwyer, June 2010. Loving memory of our dear parents, Antonio Matassa, aged 87, 1957, and Francesca Matassa, aged 84, 1959. So, late of Rome and Cafe Dunleary and Italy, and I hope I've pronounced their names correctly. Isn't that gorgeous? Such a stunning monument. You can see the green stones there as well. And we're actually quite near where the legendary Dermot Morgan is laid to rest. So any of you that have seen that video, lots of people were saying that they didn't know whereabouts he was actually buried. It's actually just around that area there, quite near the pathway. It's an unusual memorial. It almost looks like the tail of a plane. Memory of Ida Mary Costello, 1956, and her beloved husband, John A. Costello, who died 5th January 1976. For thy faithful, O Lord, life is not taken away, it is but changed. And her beloved son, Wilfred, 1979, 17th of October. So John A. Costello was a successful barrister. He was one of the main legal advisors to the government of the Irish Free State after independence, Attorney General of Ireland from 1926 to 1932, and Taoiseach from 1948 to 1951, and again in 1954 to 1957. John Costello was born on the 20th of June 1891 in Dublin, younger son of John Costello Sr., a civil servant, and Rose Gallaghan. Now that wind is shaking my gimbal, but it is actually a really, really beautiful day. Probably warm enough for a t-shirt, which I don't have. But as I said, we were blessed again with the weather. And as I said, Irish Eyes is around here somewhere. We took different paths, but the funny thing is that when we do come to the same area, our eyes tend to catch very similar, if not the same, memorials. And I always find that it's quite a nice connection to have, I suppose, with him, that we are similar in what we find. And we have some beautiful headstones around here. Look at this one with the little angel. For our darling little girl, Darius Ann, 1945, aged 3 and 9 months. Gerald Christopher O'Grady, darling father of Darius Ann, 1964, aged 63. And that is beautiful. How sweet. It's so sad. Patrick Walter Cleary, 1965. Amelia Veronica Cleary, September 1965. So Patrick died in August, and Amelia Veronica in September. And our dear brother, Very Reverend Sean Cleary, parish priest of Ringsend, 1983. Now I know I'm going to get this name wrong, but it's Alexander de Souza, CT, Cantab, MRCS, England, LRCP, London, late of Roselands, Dublin. Born in Burma, 1894, and died in Dublin, 1956. Dearly beloved, and husband of Ada Maria Janetta Josephine de Souza. Now, let's have a look at this one. So this is the burial place of the Daughters of Charity of St. Vincent de Paul. We have Eunice wrote on a lot of those as well. On this one we have Reverends. Pray for the souls of deceased Irish Vincentians, priests and brothers, the congregation of the mission. So these are all brothers and reverends. William Fitzgerald, 1953, his wife Margaret, interred in Clonmel, 1946, and his sister Mrs. Teresa Fitzmar, 1955. Lieutenant Colonel Tommy Ryan and his wife Isabella Ryan. Lieutenant Colonel Tommy Ryan passed in 1980, and his wife 2009, and their daughter Sheila 2019. My darling wife, May to Felice, or Felice, 1959, age 65, and her loving husband, Louis, 1963, age 70, and their son, Victor. So once again, you'll have to excuse my pronunciation. This is Colonel Edward Cotter. Died June 1961, and his wife Ada 1965, and their son Dr. Edward D. Cotter 2001, age 71. This says Burke. Mary Ann, 1969, that's the American flag, and I'm presuming the Irish flag. Mary Ann Burke died 1970. Then there's a Mary Burke, 1977, and Joseph Samuel Burke, 1980 something, very hard to read. Right, I'm back again in the kind of wooded area. J. Riley, able seaman, RN, HMS Salem, 1918, age 32. Winifred Dowd, age 54, and she passed in 1887. Her beloved father, Peter, 1898, age 75, and his sisters, Winifred and Ellen. Sarah's there as well, and Kate. Just look at this. You can hear the birds singing. It's just beautiful.
Robert Woodcock, aged 33. J. Sargent, believed to be. Absalom Scherzinger, aged 68. Kate Walsh, civilian casualties of the Easter 1916 Rising. Wow.
Robert Woodcock was a civilian casualty of the 1916 Easter Rising in Dublin, which commenced on Monday the 24th of April 1916. A man named Robert Woodcock was recorded in the 1901 census working as an assistant in a pub in Kingstown, now known as Dunleary. He was aged 19 and had been born in County Kilkenny. The death certificate records his death in St Vincent's Hospital, St Stephen's Green, on the 27th of April 1916. He was just 33.
Very, very interesting. There's some mounds. There's seems to be a lot of space. So I'm presuming there's a lot more here than are marked out. A lot more, I think. These are the areas that they're clearing, which is fantastic. Just spotted this one. Private P. Prendergast, Royal Defence Corps, 1920. And thank you for your service. And you know, it's amazing what you find when you kind of step off these pathways and get into the undergrowth. These areas are slowly being opened back up to the public. And a lady did tell me that these were completely overgrown. Just look at that timber crossing there. Wow. This is gorgeous. Let's go down here. We've one right in there. Now, I'm going to see if I can get in there a little bit near. I'm not sure if I can. Here's that little cross. Henry, 1840 to 19 something, rest in peace, Henry. He's in a beautiful spot as well. Do you hear those birds? Isn't that just fantastic? Like, this to me is the most beautiful place of Deansgrange. It is like we are in the middle of Deansgrange in this, like a forest area. Across there, this is just, it's just beautiful. I mean, who wouldn't love to be buried in here? It makes perfect sense to me. You know, this is just, it is amazing. I'm lost for words. I just love this, absolutely love this. This is just, I am trying to find a way into the headstone here, and I don't think I'm going to be able to unless I go this way. I just need to be careful where I'm walking. Yeah. John and Agnes, in loving memory. So it's erected by John and Agnes for their and is it her aunt? Hopefully I'll read it in Edith. Agnes is there, 1889 it looks like, and there's a Bridget here as well. I mean, this is just, you know, so beautiful, so peaceful. The birds singing, the colours. Look at this, the little paths going through. Oh, wow. And Jane at the top, and Merriman, Catchin aged 1, 1876, John aged 15, 1884, Esther aged 55, in 1904, and John Senior aged 75, 1914, and then Jane aged 84, 1963, and Jane. That little iron rail around it. We have 3 headstones in a row, and the 3 of them have the Lamb of God. Erected by John Murray for his beloved daughter Elizabeth, 1874. I think that says age 10. And it looks like her sister is there as well, maybe Margaret. Erected by John Donnelly in memory of his beloved son Peter Paul, who was only 25 when he passed in 1873, and his wife Sarah, 1876, age 76, and the above John himself, 1878, aged 80. And erected by Peter Billings in memory of his beloved wife Margaret. She was only 42 when she passed in 1872. I can actually hear wind chimes just there. Rest in peace, it says. We've loads of more headstones in there. M. Murray, the Royal Army Medical Corps, June 1919. Wow. Now, as I said, they are clearing these areas. Right, so guys, this has been the most beautiful adventure. We've loads more, all in there, more in here, and as I said, this is a work in progress. They are starting to tidy up and clean up, which is fantastic. We have some sunken graves just there, more here. This looks like the Cunninghams. But I mean, it's just amazing, isn't it? Now, Daughters of the Heart of Mary, St. Joseph's Orphanage, Kingstown. Pray for the soul of Catherine Hunt, 1867, age 24. Also for the souls of Mary Byrne, 1878, age 75. Bridget Byrne, 1890, aged 82. Beside, on this memorial, we have Anastasia Carey, who died of typhus fever, caught in the discharge of her duty at St. Joseph's Orphanage during the prevalence of an epidemic, 27th of January 1865, aged just 40. And here on this headstone we have Antoinette Le Costello, directress of St. Joseph Orphanage, who fell victim of her zeal and charity in attending the orphans during the epidemic, 25th of February 1865, age 51. Wow, guys. That is amazing. Wow. I mean, as I said, we've spent hours here and you just still wouldn't have enough time. This says Daughters of the Heart of Mary as well here, with all those names. And more here. So for all those, it's from St. Joseph's Orphanage in Kingstown. Rest in peace. So guys, another beautiful day. So if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know you're there. Hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. But for now, from Deansgrange in Dublin, take care, God bless, and I'll talk to you all soon.